These aren't just aesthetic choices, they are profound theological statements built in stone. This is the story of how belief built form, a journey through the sacred spaces that define Western civilization, decoding the hidden language of the arch, the vault, and the dome. Our story begins not in grand buildings, but in secrecy and symbolism. The earliest Christians, persecuted under Rome, met in private homes, known as domus ecclesia. This established the axial plan, a journey for the faithful from a dark world into the lit sanctuary, symbolizing the journey from sin to salvation. A pro tip for reading early churches is to look for the atrium, a forecourt representing the world, and the narthex, a vestibule representing the transition into the sacred community. The basilican model established the core language of Christian worship space for centuries, a language of procession and focus. The next great revolution occurred in the East, with the Byzantine Empire and its crowning achievement, the Hagia Sophia in Constantinople. Here, the architectural question shifted from a processional journey to a mystical manifestation. How do you represent the heaven of heavens, the dome of God's creation? The answer was the central plan, organized around a circle or a Greek cross, topped with a massive dome. The dome was a symbol of the cosmos, and at its summit, a mosaic of Christ Pantocrator, the ruler of all, looked down upon the worshippers. The engineering was revolutionary, using pendentives, curved triangular supports, to transition from a square base to a circular dome. But the true miracle was the light. A ring of windows at the base of the dome made it appear to hover, a vision of heaven descending to earth. The focus was on the divine presence itself, not just the path to it. A key development was the pilgrimage church, like Saint Sernin in Toulouse. To accommodate large crowds of pilgrims, an ambulatory, a walkway, was built around the back of the altar, allowing visitors to flow past relic chapels without disrupting the Mass in the choir. This was a masterclass in liturgical circulation, a functional solution that also symbolized the circular journey of faith. Then came the great leap upward, the Gothic Revolution. It was driven by a new theological idea, that God is light. This required three brilliant engineering innovations: the pointed arch, the ribbed vault, and the flying buttress. The pointed arch channeled weight more directly downward than a rounded arch. The ribbed vault concentrated the weight of the ceiling onto specific columns. And the flying buttress, an external stone arm, acted as a scaffold to catch the outward thrust of the vaults and channel it into the ground. This skeletal system was the medieval equivalent of a modern steel frame. It freed the walls from their load-bearing duty. A common drafting mistake when studying Gothic plans is to overlook the role of the compound pier, a bundle of columns in the nave that visually continues the lines of the ribs up into the vault, creating a breathtaking sense of vertical lift, drawing the eye and the soul upward. The Renaissance and Baroque periods shifted focus from the collective to the individual and the emotional. Renaissance architects like Brunelleschi looked back to the symmetry and proportion of Roman temples, creating churches like San Lorenzo in Florence that embodied rational, humanist order. The dome of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome became the new universal symbol. Then, the Baroque took these classical forms and made them dynamic, theatrical, and emotional. Architects like Borromini used complex, undulating forms and dramatic light to create a sense of movement and direct emotional engagement, aiming to overwhelm the senses and reinforce the power and glory of the Counter-Reformation. Church. In conclusion, Christian architecture is a continuous dialogue between faith and form. It shows us how the abstract concepts of theology, from the communal meal to the light of God to the emotional experience of grace, can be translated into physical space that guides, inspires, and humbles the human spirit. It is a testament to the enduring human desire to build a house for the divine, and in doing so, to reach for something greater than ourselves.